Welcome back to part 3. Now, I know in episode 1 I said this was going to be a Christmas Day special, a Boxing Day special, and then the rest of the videos would be kind of included in all the Rift content. Well, I've changed my mind on that because I'm having a great time doing this, really enjoying it. So I am going to keep all of these videos separate to all of the other stuff I put out. Just to keep it all in one nice place so everyone knows where things are, nobody gets confused, and it's a nice separation between the stuff I'm being paid for and the stuff I'm doing in my free time. So, episode 3 today, part 3, making the main circuit board. Just while I'm waiting for Big Bertha to warm up so I can desolder all of the chassis joints in the chassis, I want to show you the board design I've done. I've drawn this up in DIY LC Creator and I've pretty much got everything bang on position where I want it. So everything's almost lines up with the original positions, plus or minus, 1 or 2 millimeters. What changes have I made? A couple, to be honest. It's just more of a ease of building. So these two cathode resistors and bypass caps, they have 2 separate eyelets here linked, but they're not vertically straight on the board, so they angle in, and all I've done is just squared those off. That looks nice there. Down here on this side, I've done this, I've got rid of this jumper and used a single eyelet for all these jump connections here, as you can see. And what I'm doing on this is, rather than having the bias balance pot, I'm going to just have a standard earlier style bias supply, which is going to go, so that's why that looks slightly different there. And I've moved this eyelet more vertically, just there. So quite simply, really. What I did want to do, and what I thought about doing, was having my preamp filter stack here on this empty section of the board, rather than under the doghouse, but I've decided against that. Because I still want this to retain some sort of that original look, and it's quite unique to these amps, having that large piece of real estate, trying to keep the preamp as separated from the output stage as possible. I kind of like that, so that's what I'm doing there. But I'm now going to, is this up to temp yet? I hope it is. It's feeling hot. So that tip currently is 340 Fahrenheit, 300 and something like that. Where is it? Come on. About 330, 320, 330. So it's getting there. When it gets up to 400, that's the point where it's ready to get going. And this is is it 150 watt or is it 200 watt? It's a beast anyway. But that'll make absolutely no effort on those joints whatsoever. So we can get those out and carry on working on the chassis. So I'm just offering up the board to the chassis, which, by the way, I haven't finished with the chassis yet, but I ran it through the dishwasher just to, wash off the worst of it, and it's come out quite nice actually. It's still got some rusty spots and things that I need to get cleaned up and make better, and I still obviously need to try and straighten this thing out. You can see it's quite dented in certain places, but at least it's safe to touch now with bare hands, which is always a good thing. So I'm trying to use the original mounting holes for the board, 1, 2 and 3, which I copied across to my board and therefore got my standoffs in. But as always, I did make a mistake, because you see there is, pull this thing off, there's a hole here which I put the standoff in, but there's another hole here, and I forgot that that's for the small piece of tag strip that's got that huge resistor on. So already made a mistake. I already managed to drill an unneeded hole in the board. However, I'll just get this to stop fighting me. Come on. There you go. So that's the board in. But to be honest with you, I can cut this board shorter, so I might just give it a trim past that hole. Maybe there. Something like that. Come on, get focused. Just cut that off. And then that mistake is hidden. So yeah, but it's coming on quite nicely. I did desolder all of the old hardware and bits and pieces that was on the chassis, but I've still got the blobs, so I still need to go through and clean those up. This chassis still needs a lot of work. Now, I need to decide how far I want to take it. Do I just keep cleaning it by hand and getting it to a state where it's reasonable? Or do I go the full hog and send this thing off, get it acid dipped, and then zinc plated again? What do you think? Where do you think I should go with it? Bear in mind, I'm not doing a full factory restoration. I still want it to look old and worn. So I think, I mean, it's only my time, isn't it? So I may as well see how far I can get this thing cleaned up and looking presentable. And if I can't get a good enough result, I will get it acid dipped. The only problem with that is I'm going to lose all of those old factory markings that we've got. They will all disappear. This one as well. So yeah, it's one of those toss-up things about where we go with it. But yeah, I mean, it's come out quite nice from the dishwasher. It's not bad. Could be better, but again, you know, it was just to make sure it's safe to touch because I really don't want to get unwell.